that
There we
better?
go. We can see you.
I'll try and there we sort of try and. Cool.
How did you get into the clothing business? Is this your first clothing business? Or?
No, so I've always been really interested in fashion, and as a young man, which I'm not anymore, as like a teenager, it's not something I ever studied. Never studied fashion, but I am 6'8" tall.
Okay.
So when I was 18, 17, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, I could hardly buy anything that would fit. It's a lot different now, but at that time, you know, it literally was big and tall shop.
Yeah.
So I always felt, well, I've lost you.
That's okay. That's
Right.
I wondered. There we go.
I always felt as though it was a thing that I was not allowed to be part of.
Right.
Because of that, because I couldn't even, you know, friends go into, you know, you go to town with your friends, and they go to Top Man and buy a pair of jeans, and I go and to the big and tall shop, and it cost me £80 for a pair of jeans that were 38 waist, even though I'd probably be a 32 at the time.
Yeah.
And they'd say, we've got a straight leg stonewash. Well, that's it. You know, you have them in black. So, yeah. I mean, I looked like it, you know, not only was I standing out because I was tall, but also I looked like an idiot. And not being part of that, and not feeling as though I was allowed to be part of that, sort of drove me to want to do it, to be part of it more. So I started a clothing line when I was 20, which was called Vertigo Jeans.
Okay, good name.
It was great, but I immediately got threatened to be sued because somebody owned the trademark for Vertigo Jeans. So I had to change it. So it then became Kazoo, which didn't really make any sense, but it was a good lesson because it taught me to, like, this time, Rubbish London, we own the trademark.
Yeah.
Have to do that straight away. It's the first thing we did.
Yeah.
And I sold jeans to tall people.
Right.
And saw them online, and it did okay. I probably wasn't really committed.
Yeah.
You know, and it sort of went by the wayside a bit, and you know, but for the first time, I was able to wear things that I liked. You know, and they were fairly fashionable stuff. So that was my sort of first getting into it, and then I worked part-time at a bar. And wanted to work in fashion, and I went to work as a supervisor at Topshop.
Okay.
And I loved it, and I loved women's fashion. I really like because it just changes quickly.
Yeah.
And I think you know, that's the thing that it sort of inspired me. I guess not inspired me, but just made me more excited about working in women's wear than men's wear.
We have such a vast choice as well, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. And shops like Topshop. I remember, I've not been in Topshop or Top Man for years, but what I remember at the time, it was constantly changing. You know, a celebrity would wear something 3 weeks later, the equivalent's on the sales floor at Topshop. You know, so it was constantly changing and constantly evolving, and I really liked that. That made it more exciting. And then I went to work. I always wanted to work in wholesale, and it was something that I always tried to do.
Yeah.
And was never able to get a break. Just could not for the life of me get a break. In fashion wholesale, people were saying, "Oh, you haven't got enough sales experience." I thought, so eventually, I mean, I wrote to lots of different companies in London, and one of them took me on as an intern. 37.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was an intern at a fashion wholesale showroom, packing boxes, making sales calls to try and get the account managers' appointments. Things like that. I did it for 3 months. And then they took me on. So I was basically working for free for 3 months in London, which was tough. But
really
after 3 months, they took me on. Yeah, after 3 months, they took me on, and the wages weren't great anyway after that. But I really enjoyed it. it was very cutthroat. I think the whole time I was there, only there for a couple of years, and I really enjoyed it. I did really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wanted to earn more money because money wasn't great.
Yeah.
Being in zone one,
Yeah.
I wanted to. I felt as though I'd been with the company as a couple of years and really wanted to move on, work for someone else. So I went to work for another brand in London.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
I left after 2 months, and I went to work for another brand in Leicester.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed, but was sick. I kept on having time off work sick, and I was ill all the time. And eventually, it was just sort of party companies after 6 months. And I thought to myself, well, what am I going to do? What can I do? What shall I?
Yeah.
How do I, carry on doing something else and sort of applying for jobs? But a lot of people said to me, you should start your own business. But I was always thinking, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm disciplined. And you're working for someone else, and you can, 6 o'clock, you can switch off to a degree. I thought to myself, can I do that? And knowing that I'd started a label before, and not really seen it through, it was a bit of a worry.
Mm-hmm. It's passion, though, isn't it? I think you kind of know when you've not kind of. I mean, I've been in a very similar position where I just know my heart's not in it.
Yeah.
And you try, but your head and your heart says you're not in. Your head and your heart says you're not in it, and you can't fake that, can you?
No, I totally agree. But I suppose that's where. So all my life, really, fashion's always been a. I mean, don't get me wrong. Football's probably the biggest thing in my life. I love football more than anything. But a close second is fashion. So.
Really? So who do you support? Sorry, that was not who's the team. Okay.
I absolutely love them to bits.
Brilliant.
But could be all year this year. Who knows, right?
So going on from that, then. So how you got into the clothing business? How long has Rubbish London been going for?
Yeah, so Rubbish London started last July. Really, is when we first.
Wow. Okay.
First started. It feels like it's forever, to be honest with you.
But I think that's a great thing because it feels established, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I forget. Been selling for 3 months, just 3 months.
That's amazing. That's so amazing.
But it feels like a lot longer, and it is. I mean, I love doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it.
Sure.
Absolutely love doing it, and I think for the first time in my life, I'm really enjoying work. Obviously, there's things that I don't enjoy, and you make the same design for the 100th time. And it's a beautiful day outside. You think, but then it's it's my business, so it's to see it sort of grow is fantastic. Yeah.
So last July. So you started last July, and then we had lockdown. I love that. Lockdown. Okay, and that's such an amazing thing for such a short-term business as well. I mean, you've got to take your hats off to yourself as well, really.
Well, I'm pleased with it. I always want more, and I don't mean that in a really greedy way.
No, I get it.
But when I'm not doing this, I'm 41 years old. I'm not doing this for a bit of fun.
No, of course not.
I want to. My goal with the business, certainly one of them is to be able to bring people in to the business, employ people that might not be able to get the chance otherwise. I know from my point of view that I had to be an intern at 37 just to get a job, and I think had the company that I work for taken on more people like me. Or more people that not necessarily like me, but more people that wanted to, that were never given the opportunity because they didn't have a fashion-related degree. Yeah. That were salespeople. Sure. And I would just like to be able to give. There's someone who's 18 years old who's really wants to work in the fashion industry and really wants to work something, and there's some way that they can be an asset to my business because they're hungry and they want it, but they don't have a degree. Then I'd like to be able to offer that. I mean, we're not there yet, and I'm not there, but
No.
That's certainly one of the goals.
I think that's a real. I think it's you know, I was only having a conversation earlier. Is, you know, the lockdown is probably the longest time I haven't, and I'm gonna say worked for, because I have worked, but at the same, I worked since I was 14, but I was given that opportunity by somebody that hadn't gone to university, that had learned on the job, and he literally, through every single job, I mean, I did horrible jobs, but you know, I learned something from every single job. He also let me do good jobs, you know, but that was in return for doing the bad jobs. And I think that's, I didn't want to go to university. I didn't go, but all that time, it's somebody that has given me an opportunity to learn and to be, you know, sort of get stuck in without having the degrees in the roles that I've done, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think if you get the opportunity, and I can never knock anybody for opportunities that
no. Yeah.
I think as long as you get the opportunity, and as long as you prove yourself,
yeah,
you know, I personally, and it's not across the board because I don't know everybody, of course. You know, I know a very small percentage of people in the industry, but from my personal view of it is that a lot of people just aren't given the opportunity, and it almost feels like it's a closed, you know, if you face
a closed shot sort of thing, and
you know, and I feel as though there's a lot of people that aren't in the industry that would like to be, that would be a fantastic asset to a lot of companies, but they just don't.
And that's so funny, because I think I've had a couple of Insta lives, and you know, just having that chat with, it always comes from the love of fashion, not feeling like you can be included in it because you don't fit the sort of maybe stereotypical model, or that fashion wasn't being inclusive with you. And that's where I think so that kind of juxtaposition with Instagram has meant that there's so many different people that have become, I don't want to say, you know, that can show that they're interested in fashion, can, you know, and that's the thing that I like, because I always felt a little bit like, oh, I've got a boyish, I know, and I can be boyish and maybe, you know, not dresses. And then you see other people on Instagram that are boyish and wear, you know, it kind of opens up your mind to more sort of opportunity.
It's great to have a platform that anyone can use, and you don't have to you don't have to have a certain qualification to use it, do you? I mean, I think there is a myth in the fashion industry that you know, certainly the wholesale point of view, you know, for one of the agencies I work with, you know, lots of brands, and it was fantastic, and you would get to go to the brand meetings in Europe and different places, fantastic. It was a sales job. You know, a lot of people come in and think that they'd be trying on, you know, you'd be glad. You know, it's not like that. And I think that is probably one of the reasons why a lot of people come into it and think, you know, it's going to be glamorous, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that, and you're not. You know, you drive into, you know, you're working all day, you're leaving the office at 6, you're driving to Manchester. You know, you're getting there at 1 a.m, you're getting up at 7 o'clock, going to the office, you're working all day, you're driving to Scotland. You know, it's not, it's just.
No, I mean, and I've done roles like that where everyone goes, oh, it's so amazing that you get to travel. And I'm like, I arrive at the airport, I pick up my bag, I go to an exhibition, you know, I go to an exhibition hall, I set up the stand, I do that, then I leave, I go to my hotel room, go to sleep. Like there's, like I didn't even see the city I was in other than the hotel room and the exhibition hall. So it's not glamorous.
You've got to love it, otherwise you wouldn't do it. But it's just not that glamorous that they think, is it?
Absolutely. But to think it's all the glamorous thing, I think that's okay. So what inspired you? I think we sort of talk a little bit about this, but what inspired you to start Rubbish London and produce actually sustainable clothing, which I love?
Well, it's not necessarily I suppose what most people think. I mean, it's not like, so I've sold sort of contemporary women's wear, and sort of know that market, the sort of boutique market, I guess, is sort of an area that I know a bit, and I know shop owners and I know buyers and things like that, and sold brands that they sell in these sort of boutiques. So know that customer base, if you like.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, and chatting to a couple of my ex-colleagues who have helped me time to time. If we were going to start a brand, how would you? It's so hard to start a fashion brand now. Let's face it. Everybody wants to start a fashion brand. You're a celebrity, you want to start a fashion brand. And I thought the way forward is sustainability.
Yeah.
The way forward, eventually in I don't know how many years, hopefully everybody will be doing something that's recycle. Everybody will be, it'll all be organic, fantastic, which is great.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I thought, the sustainable brands that there are, and as great as they are, and some of them, do phenomenally well, preach about sustainability.
Yeah.
All of their garments are something to do with the environment.
Yeah.
Which obviously appeals to a certain customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about those customers that buy a postcard from Brighton and they buy South Parade? Those sort of mid-range brands, they're not talking about their logos and their stuff on their t-shirts aren't about sustainability.
No.
Brands. So I thought if we can try and create a fashion brand that can appeal to the same customer that they do, but it's sustainable, that would be a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
it does, because you know what, like I said to you, I love the fact that your brand, like your packaging is all recycled, and I think it's important that you have that, like you do. When I received the t-shirt, you've got all the recycling, and I think that is brilliant. I don't necessarily always want to wear a recycled symbol on my t. I know that sounds that I want to sort of promote it and talk, but I don't necessarily want to have a recycled logo on my top. And that's, I think that's why you've got some of those, which is great, because that will appeal to some people, but you've also gone more into and the charitable is amazing. But into the other areas where you can wear it, you can make a statement, but it's not just you're doing well, you're doing good yourself.
I mean, what the idea behind it is that we can create a fashion brand.
Yeah.
So yes, there are elements of some of the designs that I think, we're a sustainable fashion brand. So we're an eco-friendly fashion brand. So we do some things that are that have images that I think that are like that sort of thing. Yeah. And focus on the environment. Now, what I want to do really is say, we've got a fashion brand. I want you to buy our brand because you like the designs. Yeah. And you think, wow, that looks cool. I want to wear that. Yeah. And it's recycled. Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's a case of, I don't want you to buy our brand because it's recycled. I want you to buy our brand because you like the designs. Yeah. And it's fantastic because at the end of the day, you like the designs and it's recycled. Yeah. That's what.
But I think you have to, like you've done, because you come out with a statement. I mean, I like the rock and recycle, stuff. I think that's a really great, it's a great statement, and it's a great statement to sort of put out there. Yep. And I mean, to me, it was the lips, because I'm a lips girl. I think that's why I started my hashtag originally, Moi to Monday, was because I wanted to fill the internet with lip. But I think that's exactly your designs, and they hit, at the right point. I definitely think with the lips, and then the Captain Tom was perfect, especially working with a charity as well. You didn't, because obviously it's a time where the world is changing and we're all worried, but also, you kind of had that design. It was spot on. You're working with a charity. It's all of those good, feel good points.
The recycled, those recycled, not the recycled lips. Sorry, the rainbow sparkly lips, the glitter lips. 70% of the orders have been for that. 70% of the orders.
Is it? But so that's Instagram. That's as Instagram for you. You know, we like that. There's a lot. I've talked about that. It's like this statement thing for Instagram as well. And those, you know, hit on many points. Those lips with because you know you use your rubbish, don't you, to make them perfect all round.
But I want it to look as great as possible. Yes, it's made from scrap material, but if it looks rubbish, I mean, apart from the name of it, you know, I want it to be. I want people to wear it and go, "This is amazing." I don't want them to say, "This is great. I bought this. It's not. I don't really like it, but I know it's recycled, so I'm going to keep it." I mean, because
you know what? That's not. I can't imagine that because you know, I think that a lot of women do talk offline on the Instagram. Like they'll say, "Oh, I like that. How does it feel? What's the fit like?" You know, or they'll ask you on the feed, and you're just, you know, I kind of half expected it to be scratchy on the inside, you know, kind of scratchy on the inside, and it was not. It probably one of my most comfortable jumpers, and you know, and that's you can't. And I think there's always going to be two sets of people, and I learned that, say, from British manufacturing, is the fact that you've got the people that love aged differences, things that kind of like that is maybe not the same as somebody else's, and then there's someone that's not like it was on the picture.
Yeah.
So you're always going to have that two camps. Yeah. And I think as long as you're honest, like you are, then you just got to keep doing what you're doing.
Luckily, we've had very few returns. Which is good. I try to discourage when people say, "Oh, ask about sizing." I try and discourage them from buying two sizes. You know, I try to, and we try to suggest, look, you know, pick the size that you think's most likely to fit. If it doesn't fit, you can return it, as opposed to us making two of them, because everything's made to order, sending two out, and you just sending one back. You know, because at the end of the day,
you've got to resell that.
It's a fashion brand.
Yeah,
and we'd prefer it if you, you know, if we didn't make things that we might end up having to just.
Well, but also it's the whole posting back. There's a whole other implication, isn't there, of all of that kind of other, you know, that comes along with
returns at the moment because you can't afford to.
No, and also who wants to be in the post office in a queue waiting to send things back at the moment anyway, as well. So
posting is one of the toughest things because our posting costs us about £9 to send each parcel.
Yeah.
We charge £3.95.
Right. Yeah.
So we're losing straight away.
Yeah.
You know, £5 on it. But obviously, I'm not going to charge someone £9.
No. Yeah.
It's how much it costs. So.
Yeah. That's it. Right. I'm going to carry on. So I found you via the lovely Astrid. And so, do you think influencer marketing is a good thing?
Yeah. I am. Neither influencer marketing. Initially, I thought, we're never going to pay anybody to promote our stuff. I mean, that's not something we do. Why would we do that? And we haven't paid anyone physically any money to do it now. But what we have done now is sent people the stuff to wear.
Yeah.
I soon realised that it was a must. This is how it is, you know, and you know, and there's still a lot of people that would say, and most of my friends on Instagram, but they would say, you know, what, you can't pay people to do this, but at the end of the day, years ago, you'd have taken out an article in a magazine, you would have posted it in a newspaper, and you would paid for it to a degree, and now, and this is the way it works now, you know, whether it's not necessarily I don't dislike it,
no.
But it seems to be the way that it works. People are logging onto social media. They have people that they follow and admire and look up to, and they obviously post. And people, you know, one of our biggest sales, our biggest sales weekend so far was an influencer who's got a couple of 100,000 people who posted because she liked the brand.
Yeah.
A friend of Astrid's because she liked the brand, and you know, I sent her a jumper and she wore it, and it was phenomenal.
You
know, so and that to me showed me. I thought, gosh, wow, this is actually how it works.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, moving forward, when we can afford to, I'd heard about these things before. People saying, well, this celebrity's got 1 million followers, you have to pay her £5,000, and she posts. And I think £5,000, yeah. I mean, but to be fair, she's got 1 million followers, and you give her £5,000 and you get £20,000 worth of sales from it, then it works.
Yeah, it works out. Especially, I mean, that's the thing is changing your mindset. You know, if that person, like an influencer, has put something on or showed it, and then you can see like your followers has jumped or your sales have jumped.
It's an instant reaction. Yeah,
you kind of know that that's from that,
yeah.
and that's, you know, that's the difference. And and I think it's, you know, changing. I think we're much more beholden of our own brand, aren't we? We're kind of, you know, we're responsible to do our own marketing, our own advertising, our own, you know.
I mean, it is a huge learning curve. I mean, Instagram.
Yeah.
I spend so long on Instagram, you know, and you know, when I've spent a day, 12, 13 hours making stuff, and then I've the design stuff, and then I'm on Instagram as well.
I'm with you on that. And it's so funny. I interviewed a lady. It still works. I mean, I interviewed a lady, and she said she loves Instagram, she loves posting, but you have, you know, it's all of, and she says not that she doesn't like it, but that's also ours, is replying to people saying, you know, kind of thank you and commenting, and, you know, because she was on there to be social originally, but it's still, that's another job in itself, isn't it?
It is. I mean, and let's face it, I am not complaining.
No.
Maybe I am a little bit. I suppose we're
British. We like to complain.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I suppose it's just the way you have to embrace things, don't you? And you have to change, otherwise, you know, otherwise you won't survive. And you know, that's. I suppose it's as simple as that. It's as simple. You know, I mean, a lot of companies 20 years ago said, "Well, we're not going online. We have a website. You know, we'll do that. We've got a great shop." You know, and I wonder how many of those have gone
now. And also with lockdown, I reckon, because again, I've worked with a few that were happy to have a website but not online shop, and I reckon through lockdown they've thought, oh God, if only I had a website that was e-commerce.
Look, we launched a week before lockdown.
I was going to say, if you started in July.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I mean, everything from July up until I think it was 15th of March was building up to a launch, and then we launched the shop. Everything opened on the 15th of March, and a week later we were in lockdown. So, you know, people said, "Oh, you know, how's you know, has it affected you?" It's tough to know because we've only existed as a business selling things during lockdown.
During lockdown. So hopefully it can only get better.
Right, I hope so.
Okay, right. So how do you get your ideas for your jumpers and tees?
I think, I don't know where inspiration comes from, really. I mean, I suppose it comes from everyday life sort of things we see. I tend to see things, because I do the designing.
Yeah.
And I tend to see things and think, I like that, but how can we change that and make it a bit, you know, our own sort of stamp on things? So, I suppose the thing is with any design and image, nothing is 100% original, because you can't. There's a
not
limit
anymore.
what you can have. So what I tend to do is, I'll see something, I like it, I will find a design and I'll buy the license for it.
Yeah.
So I'll buy the license so that we're allowed to use it commercially and allowed to make money from it. And then from that, I will edit it in Photoshop. So the recycled lips one with all the recycling symbols, it's a lips design. We bought the license for it, put the recycled symbols in. I think it looks quite cool. It's been quite popular. The actual lips one, I saw it and thought, everybody's doing a different thing with the lips, and how can we make the lips different? You just start experimenting, and we chopped it up, and then I thought, it can have a different colour. It can be almost like a rainbow lip, so therefore the lips is rainbow and not a whole thing.
Yeah.
Rock and recycle. Everybody was wearing rock and roll tops with rock and roll on the back. Yeah. I thought, that's cool, but how can we make that a bit more about our brand?
Yeah.
Rock and roll, everyone does rock and roll. Rock and recycle seems to fit. Let's do that.
Brilliant.
So, it's all
a melting pot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's some things I think I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, I'm going to do that. It's amazing, and I put it together and it looks terrible. You know, just woeful. And then something else that you think, oh, might work and might not. You know, you don't think it's
But
going to be that popular. It is. You know, it's ever so
but
strange.
you've been really savvy as well in putting them up, I think, on Instagram and asking for feedback. I think you'll get, because you do get the truth, don't you, back from people. You'll get them like, yeah, I prefer this one, I don't want that one. And I think,
And you can see by, you know, even if no one comments,
yeah,
the number of likes sort
yeah,
of speaks to itself. You've got a certain amount of followers. You know, if you post one
yeah,
and 200 people like it, then
yeah,
you know, there's a good chance you're going to sell more of them than if you do one and 20 people do. So
exactly,
that's the.
exactly.
But I mean, I suppose in a way, I'm not saying I know, but because my experience comes from selling to a particular category,
Yeah,
age point and price, I sort of, in a way, look at the other brands and I think that's nice, but
yeah,
I'm not going to copy it. So how can I get that
develop it. And
something that, you know, from me? So from us, so that's definitely something that that I look at. I've got some really cool stuff coming actually. So,
but I can't wait actually, because I think that's the other thing is, I like, you know, I think that because you know, I won the competition via Astrid, so I got that jumper and I know it's quality, and then I bought the t-shirt, and that wasn't just a charitable thing, it was kind of, I thought it had a cool statement as well. And I think once you've kind of got that, you look for other things to buy or invest in, and I think it's really good.
well, the Captain Tom, they got Captain Tom. We're just trying to. What can we do? Everyone's doing the rainbow, aren't they? So, the rainbow, but everyone's doing the rainbow. And my theory with the Captain Tom thing is, you could probably wear it next summer.
That's
with
exactly
a rainbow.
that.
You wear a rainbow next summer, and it's great. As much as the rainbows look great, next summer people might be thinking, "Oh, if I see one more rainbow, I'm going to scream." You know, because they're everywhere. It's a great cause, of
that's
course.
The other thing is, I can't wait to wear the t-shirt when I go back to the office, like with the jacket, and that's what I just thought I could totally have a statement tee, whack a t-shirt over it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and off you go. So no, I think it's been brilliant. That's good to know. I think we've covered some of what are the difficult. You haven't. I'm not saying you haven't had difficulties during lockdown, but you started your business before lockdown, and so, you know, have you had? Has it been posted? Yeah. Okay.
There have been issues sometimes. You know, we have a certain amount of time that we say you're going to get your garment in.
Yeah.
If it's busy, and make it in that time, it's done. The courier doesn't turn up.
Yeah.
You know, got a problem. So that has been a problem. But, you know, it is not necessarily because they're just overworked, crazy overworked, aren't they? Yeah. And that's the issue. So that has been that's been a problem. Supply wise, we've struggled at times. So the downside is I'm doing everything on my own now. So any job that I did have, I no longer have, because those people aren't in Nottingham.
Yeah.
So I now have to do everything. I mean, they help with Instagram stuff, but
sure.
anything manufacturing, I have to do. And you know, I suppose the things that I've really struggled with is our packaging. So that is all recycled. Want to make it look as great as possible. It takes time to do.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible wrapper of things, and most people probably get it and think, God, it looks terrible, but it's nice. But to physically put all the swing tags on, and then wrap it, and then pack it, and then stick the label on. I know that sounds daft, but it takes 5 or 6 minutes for each one. Now, if you've got 30 or 40,
of course,
it's a big job.
Yeah, Bless you.
so that's one of the things that
you found.
I found tough, and just, I guess, being on my own in a, you know, you're constantly at it, and only it's good in a way. It probably kept me sane, you know, being able to
keeps you going, doesn't it? I think having things to do.
Yeah. But I suppose, I mean, certainly the not necessarily a lockdown thing, but because we want everything to be recycled, it comes at a cost, price wise.
It does, and I know that. I've always looked at recyclable packaging, and also the printing on it. you know, you want the best printings that's also water-based, things like water-based inks and stuff like that. It just doesn't, you know, even coming down to the tech. I feel your pain. I've been there from a marketing point of view.
It's not a bad thing in terms, as long as, I mean, people don't really know that, do they? I mean,
no, they don't.
Know.
Yeah.
What they're not doing is doing everything themselves, buying the packaging.
No,
exactly. Costs more money.
Exactly. Well, because also you need bespoke, like that way it becomes bespoke. I mean, we don't have, and yeah, obviously that all costs money. Okay, what would you like to see more of from consumers? And I think maybe is that demand. When I say consumers, I just mean like people like me. Is there anything I can do to help you or help sustainability or, you know, choices?
I mean, I am learning more about being sustainable, and you know, a year ago was probably just, you know, I'd use a recycling bin.
Yeah.
You know, so I am learning more, but probably because the people we're interacting with on Instagram are really into it, and they're doing things, and I'm thinking, oh, what's you know, plastic straws? Didn't really think about. Not that I use straws every day, but But I mean, I don't know. In terms of helping us, I mean, you know, if people like what we do, tell their friends. You know, it's you know, I mean, that's the way we grow, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
And I always forget we've only been selling for 3 months.
Yeah, I know. That blew me away. I was kind of. I wrote these questions and I'm all like, how long? And then that's blown me away. So
no, but it literally, because it feels like it's so much longer, and I think to myself, right, the target for this has got to be, and you know, if you don't hit your target, but then I remind myself, you know, we've only been doing it for 3 months. It's not like
no,
you know, really. I mean, I suppose for a brand to be established, what do they think? About 5 years, probably.
Yeah.
And we're 3 months in, so
yeah, it's great. It's good. I'm going to come and pat you on the back when I'm allowed to.
Thank you very much. No, thank you. It's I really appreciate it. It's but yeah, I love doing it. So
yeah, exactly. But that's what's important. Okay, so have you found Instagram a good place to market? I think we sort of spoke about this already. Really, it's kind of been covered. And then
I mean, it's our biggest shop window, if you like.
Right. Have you tried Pinterest? Not that, you know.
No, and only because I just haven't got the time to do it. I mean, at some point I will look into it, I guess.
No.
Okay. So not many people click on it on Instagram and buy it. Most of the people look at Instagram and then go to a website.
Yeah.
But by far the biggest shop window, because let's face it, if you're on the web, no one's going to find you unless they look for you.
Exactly. Where in London is your favourite place to go?
Yeah, so I was in Islington. And sort of around the Cali, which is a bit, you know, beautiful. You walk one way, it's beautiful. Walk next way, it's not. But it's nice. It's quite diverse. I like it. I was thinking about it because I saw your question, you know, about the obviously restaurant wise, and I'm not a huge restauranty person. My answer to, you know, where's the best place to go would probably be just depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could be in a fantastic restaurant with people you don't like and it's rubbish.
That's so true.
But I quite like Frederick's, Camden Passage. So, yeah, I like that. I think it's quite nice in the summer, just sort of sitting outside. Apart from that, I just generally sort of prefer sort of pubs, I guess. And
but that's what I love. I'm a big street food fan. I absolutely love sort of something from a street food stall, which is, you know, and that's why I asked the question, is that I didn't you know, I like restaurants as well. You know, I've done a lot of that in the sort of marketing field, but just as you say, it depends who you're with. I've been to some of the most amazing restaurants, but it's not been fun because the person I'm with isn't, you know, a friend or family. So, you know, no, Frederick's a great choice. I love that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, but it's just quite cool, isn't it? It's just
it is. I love Angel. I used to be a kind of a stomping ground in my 20s. Used to head there for bars and
Right.
drinks and.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. I mean, there's so many great areas in London, aren't there? And everywhere has its own sort of uniqueness to it. I feel like, well, I really quite like Chiswick.
Yeah, yeah.
I think now in my 40s, Chiswick feels like just quite a relaxed. I mean, I've got to afford to buy a house there, but
No.
but it reminds me of where it's very similar to the area of West Butcher, where we are in Nottingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere has its own sort of, these cool places. I mean, you're out, going out in Hackney. I'm nights out in Hackney and Shoreditch, and I feel ancient.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think
it is.
I never felt cool when I was literally going to do a post. So I've got two pairs, and it just reminded me of some nights out in Shoreditch, and I've got two pairs of shoes which are exactly the same shoe but two different colours. And I was going to put one shoe on each on the other, because that totally reminded me of some nights out in Hoxton with girls just so cool with different shoes on each foot. And I thought, but I never felt like part of that. But it was such a lovely area, something different. Like you say, like London's got lots of different.
Where did I go last summer? A friend's birthday. We went to a pub on the park.
Okay, yeah.
It was great, and it was really nice. But again, I thought to myself, this seat's a bit sticky, and the pint glass doesn't look clean. I'm quite, and that's just me being a little bit older and thinking. But
it's true. It's
not.
True.
So the Black Lives Matter stuff. It was a really difficult thing to create. It's a really difficult subject. Being a middle-aged white man.
Yeah.
Wanting to help, wanting to do the right thing, not wanting to offend anybody, not wanting to bother people by, there's somebody yesterday that I shared his post, and I think you may have followed him, Ryan, who's his brand, and I found myself asking him questions, and then but at the same time, I've profusely apologised to him by saying, look, I know it's not up to you to educate me on these things. You're probably sick to death of me talking about it.
Yeah.
And then in the end, I thought the best way is it helping? The best thing we can do as a brand is to maybe design some stuff. We can sell it on our website, and then we can give the money to Black Lives Matter, and they will do better with it than I would.
Yeah.
So that's our tiny way of contributing, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a really valid point, because obviously I'm a middle-aged white woman, but I've always lived in central London, and I always felt like I'm a good person. But what I've learned is and this period, which is great because it has been a really educational time, is that it's not enough for me to be a good person. I've got, or not racist. I have to be anti-racist, and I think that's really that's where my education has sort of taken on. And I at no point did I want to offend anybody, not my friends, and I think so. It's to handle it delicately, and to ask the right people. You can only have done the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think my opinion on it all, and on lots of other things in life, changes as we sort of get older and take a step back and think about things. But like you, I was thinking, well, I'm a good person, and I try my best, and I treat everybody the same. So therefore, and that's not enough, is it? That's not enough. And rightly so. So I've tried to look at,
and I think you've done a great thing, because you're actually going to be directly helping, through the charity. It's not just
I hope that people buy it. I mean, if they like, obviously, if they like it. Really difficult thing to design. I actually, we one of the designs with the American flag was, we pinched it from a
is it a film?
Yeah, the 13th Amendment documentary.
Yeah.
And then put the American flag in colour. And the reason we put the American and British flag in colour and in glitter on on two of the designs isn't to say, wow, America's great, wow, British is great. Is really just to associate these wonderful flags of anything that they stand for with something else other than positivity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on the British one, I find myself designing a slave ship, which was really difficult. I was thinking, should we do this? Shall I put this out there? I mean, I don't know, and I'm still not 100% whether we do.
Yeah.
But it's the slave ship and it's slaves and it's a horrible scene.
Yeah.
And the standout thing is the British flag. And we don't associate, we don't think about it, but Britain, United Kingdom, is responsible for the slave trade, and and even though people might think it looks like we're sort of glorifying the United Kingdom with the United States, it's not really. It's associating those flags with the horrendous things that happen and have happened, legacy of these countries, and still happen today.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that having that and acknowledging it can only be a good thing and educational all at the same time. You're not sort of trying to glamorize the jumper or you're putting it straight there as a statement.
I mean, because somebody did say to me, "Oh, it looks like you're sort of glamorizing this," and I said to them, I explained, as I've just explained to you, the thought behind it of really having those flags and holding them to account, if you like. Also, I said that we want to sell as many of these as we can, so that we can donate the money to the charity. We're not making any money from these, so nothing. So it's not as though I want to sell loads of them so I can line my pockets. I want to sell loads of them so we can give the money to Black Lives Matter. And they can do with it as they please. But it was even still making it. I was thinking to myself, I feel a little bit sick making this. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel right. So I don't know. It's really,
a very hard. Yeah, it's a hard. You've got the right intention.
So the lips design. Yeah. We're doing actually inspired by football clubs, really, because I bought the Liverpool Football Club blackout shirt.
Okay, yeah.
So we're doing a blackout version of the lips, which is basically as it sounds.
Yeah.
It's black, but it's black glitter. It looks awesome. Just looks so good. Just the black glitter, just really, because you don't expect something dark to be sort of sparkly, and it is. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So that will be available next week. And now tomorrow is the 3-year anniversary of the Grenfell Tower disaster, which is obviously awful, and I can't believe it's been 3 years.
I know, I can't believe that.
And I'm not I don't know loads about other than it being a really sad time. From what I believe, there's still a lot of the cladding that was supposed to be removed still exists in different places, and I don't think everything has been removed and sorted. And I think there's been a lot of problems with compensation and all sorts of things. But what we're doing is we have a T-shirt for 3-year anniversary to commemorate, I guess. Again, it's just a case of selling them and giving the profits to the Grenfell Support Charity.
Okay.
It's so I'm hoping it's going to be available for tomorrow, and it's a heart. Just looks like the Grenfell, like a tube sign with a heart. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're using black glitter again on it, so it looks quite nice, quite cool, and it's just a show of support to say that we've not forgotten.
Sure. No, that's another great cause. You're good at great causes.
Well, you have to pick and choose, don't you? There's a lot of different things that that would like to support. The NHS, it was topical. Everybody wanting to help. We will carry on selling the NHS T-shirts for as long as as long as people buy them.
Yeah.
The Black Lives Matter movement, again, it is topical. We just felt that by not doing anything, would be we would be wrong. So
Yeah.
therefore we have to do it.
Yeah.
Granby, obviously, it's London, you know, and we're not. It's not as though it, you know, across the other side of London, but I think it's still poignant, and I think it's still something to do, something we should do. You know, we might not sell any of them. You know, I mean, none of these charity things, you don't know whether anyone will buy any of them, but all you can do is put them out there and say,
yeah,
here it is. If you want to, we can, you know, you can support it. So.
No, I think it's a great way. I think it's a great way because, you know, people also feel like they're doing something to help, don't they? You know, and that's an important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'd love to support every cause.
Absolute pleasure. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Awesome.
And then I'll let you know when I'm posting it.
Wicked. Look forward
See
to
you
seeing
later. And
you.
you. See you later. Bye. And you. Bye. Bye. Bye.